At the heart of the frozen hell. What if I told you that everything you believe fades in the face of true Arctic silence? Picture this. I'm standing in the tundra at -40, where every breath scorches your lungs as if you were inhaling liquid nitrogen. And yet, this is where a creature hides that witnessed the dawn of humanity and still rules these empty lands. I'm here to see how a person, armed with nothing but ancestral knowledge, steps into a confrontation with nature itself. Yesterday, something incredible happened to me. On the horizon, a dark shape appeared, breaking the endless white of the snow. It was Umingmak, the bearded one, a living mountain of strength we had been tracking for 3 days. For me, a lifelong admirer of the North, this encounter felt like a meeting with a legend from the Ice Age itself. We weren't here just for the dobicha. We were here to accept a challenge that the Arctic has been throwing at all living things for thousands of years. Do you know what the world's most successful survivors have in common? The ability to turn absolute emptiness into a resource. Inuit people read the snow like an open book, staying calm while I struggle to control my shivering. For them, this hunt is the highest form of mastery, where a single mistake can cost a life. I'm here to capture that primal connection between hunter and prey, the bond that once allowed humans to settle these unforgiving lands in the first place. The musk ox is a living fossil of the Ice Age. Did you know that the animal standing before us quite literally walked past the age of mammoths? The musk ox is a true relic of the Pleistocene. While mammoths vanished, this shaggy tank survived, witnessing shifting poles and advancing glaciers. Today it still stands here, a reminder of a time when humans were little more than shadows in caves. This is a living time machine, armored in a thick coat of dense fur. What if I told you that the name musk ox is a major biological mistake? In reality, it's neither a cow nor a ram, but a relative of mountain goats and chamois. Imagine a goat the size of a car, weighing up to 400 kilograms, with a beard that nearly reaches the ground. It's this unique genetic makeup that allows musk oxen to survive where any other hoofed animal would simply turn into a frozen statue. I discovered the secret of their resistance to cold in Kiviut, the underwool that's 8 times warmer than sheep's wool. It's softer than cashmere, yet it functions like high-tech thermal insulation. 7 different types of hair form a dense cocoon that traps heat even in hurricane-force winds. That's how a musk ox can calmly chew dry lichen while a snow apocalypse rages around it, conditions that would kill almost any other living creature. Look closely at their most fearsome weapon, the horns, fused across the forehead into a solid bone shield. This natural helmet protects the brain during collisions of enormous force in the mating season. Between the horn base and the skull is a shock-absorbing air layer, much like in an American football helmet. It's a perfect blend of raw power and natural engineering. That design makes musk oxen nearly invulnerable to predators, but not to Inuit strategy. The Inuit arsenal, technology against the elements. How do you prevail in a land with no trees and no metal? The Inuit bow is a triumph of intelligence over scarcity. There is no flexible ash wood in the Arctic, so hunters used driftwood and whalebone instead. To make frozen wood bend and store energy, they reinforced it with a lattice of braided caribou sinew. The result was a true composite bow of the Stone Age, capable of storing immense power in a place defined by absolute emptiness. One sentence can permanently change how you see bones. For an Inuit hunter, bone is both steel and gold. Arrowheads carved from walrus tusk are incredibly sharp and fitted with barbs. To penetrate 10 centimeters of fur and the thick hide of a muskox, the blade must be perfectly balanced. Each of these tools represents hundreds of hours of work, where a single flaw could mean starvation for an entire family.
Do you know what drives a team of dogs straight into the frozen abyss? For an Inuit hunter, huskies aren't pets, they're combat partners. In a muskox hunt, a dog isn't meant to kill, it's a living radar and a tactical unit. Their role is to force the animal into a defensive stance. This is biological containment, a strategy refined over thousands of years, turning a dangerous mobile giant into a stationary target.
Before closing the distance, look carefully at the hunter's clothing. A parka made from caribou hides, stitched with sinew thread, is the best protection against extreme cold. Caribou fur is hollow on the inside. It pulls moisture away from the body, preventing sweat from freezing. Every piece of Inuit equipment works as part of a single, high-performance system. Everything is ready. Now we're about to see how this carefully balanced power collides with a true living fortress. The living fortress strategy, a fatal mistake. What if I told you that the animal's greatest strength can also become its fatal weakness? When musk oxen sense a threat from dogs, they perform a maneuver that has saved them for millions of years. They press their bodies together, presenting a wall of massive horns outward, while calves are hidden safely in the center. This is the living fortress, a perfect defense against wolves. But it's this very formation that makes them vulnerable to humans. This is why everyone gets it wrong when they compare muskox hunting to caribou hunting. Caribou flee. Muskoxen don't. They are warriors, not runners. Against wolves, this formation is nearly impenetrable. But against a human armed with a ranged weapon, a motionless formation becomes a target. They make a tactical mistake by trusting the instinct to stand their ground, in a situation where flight would be the only chance. I was struck by the calm of these giants as we moved closer. In their evolutionary memory, there's no concept of a projectile arriving from a distance. They wait for close combat, ready to crush an enemy with sheer mass or lift it on their horns. Watching this, I felt both awe and sadness. A strategy perfected against teeth and claws is completely powerless against the human mind. This changes the rules of the game, turning the chaos of the hunt into cold calculation. While the dogs create noise and hold the musk oxen's attention, the Inuit hunters calmly select their target. The dogs work like a living fence, preventing the herd from breaking formation. What I'm witnessing is a scene repeated thousands of years ago, back in the age of mammoths. The tension in the air is so thick it feels tangible. We are entering the final stretch. A grand game of chess. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The silence before the strike was the loudest thing in the Arctic. We were just 15 meters from the roaring, musk-scented fortress. The guide froze, scanning the herd. We don't wipe out the whole group. That's the law of the tundra. The target is an old male, shielding the younger animals. This isn't just killing, it's an honest duel, demanding calm, precision, and respect for the opponent. Watch closely. I'll show you how the hunter closes the distance. While the dogs distract the lead animal, the Inuit moves like a shadow, using gusts of wind to hide the sound of his steps. The dogs are pawns, locking the opponent in place, while the hunter is the queen, moving into a decisive position. In his hands is a composite bow. In a moment, it will bend for a single, perfect shot. When I saw this, a chill ran down my spine. The hunter slowly raises the bow. The sinew along the shaft creaks like distant thunder. A split second of stillness, and the arrow slices through the air. It takes real strength to punch through the dense fur and underwool. The arrow finds its mark behind the shoulder. The animal doesn't immediately understand what has happened. Instinct tells it to stand and defend, but life is already leaving its body. Can you guess what happened next? The herd didn't scatter. The musk oxen remained in their circle, guarding the fallen leader. Their loyalty and strength are deeply moving. Only when the Inuit gives a signal and the dogs are called back does the herd slowly retreat into the tundra. On the snow, only the Umingmak remains, a life given so the community can survive the long polar winter. A relic supermarket, life after the shot. Did you know that a single musk ox can feed a family for weeks? I watched the butchering process, and here the idea of zero waste is taken to its absolute limit. Musk ox meat is concentrated energy and fat, fuel that keeps blood from freezing in your veins. Every single piece will be used because the tundra does not forgive waste. This is the foundation of survival in extreme cold. Here's what no one tells you about polar fuel. Musk ox fat is liquid gold. It's used in stone lamps, kulek, which provide both light and heat inside igloos throughout the polar night. This fat allows ice to be melted for water and food to be cooked. Without it, life in the dark Arctic winter would be impossible. The animal quite literally lights the way for people, guiding them through the long darkness. I learned that the most valuable part is kivyut, hidden beneath the coarse outer hair. Women in the community carefully comb out this soft underwool, spinning threads that surpass even modern textiles. The horns are used for knife handles and components for new bows. Even after death, the muskox continues to live on in everyday tools, warming and protecting people from the merciless elements. This forced me to rethink everything I believed about consumption. Inuit people don't take pride in killing. Their actions are guided by a sense of sacred gratitude. There is a belief that the spirit of the animal willingly gives itself to a worthy hunter. Standing by the fire, I felt a connection across time. The muskox is not just prey, it is a partner in an endless dance of survival, one that turns a human into a human among the ice. Lessons of harmony. Do you know your true worth in a world without stores or the internet? Standing on a snow-covered plateau, I realized this. A person's value lies in balance with nature. The story of the Inuit is a story of respect. They don't simply take a life, they accept a gift in order to continue their people. This is an ancient contract between humans and the Arctic, written on snow with wisdom and restraint. This changed the way I see progress itself. Progress isn't about replacing the old, it's about preserving ancestral wisdom. Musk oxen survived the Ice Age because they faced a worthy opponent who never took more than was needed. A harmony where every element matters, from the arrowhead to a single strand of fur, feels to me like the highest expression of human culture. What if technological superiority is only part of the truth? True strength lies in mental flexibility, the ability to turn bone into a tool and cold into an ally. My journey is coming to an end, but I'm taking something with me. The belief that humanity can overcome any challenge as long as it remembers its roots. I hope this story made your heart beat a little faster there in the middle of the polar snow. Friends, which moment struck you the most? The living fortress strategy or bows reinforced with sinew? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about these facts together. And be sure to subscribe to the channel if you want more powerful stories about wildlife and the strength of the human spirit. There's still so much unexplored and extraordinary ahead.